Okay, today is going to do crepes. I'm going to do a stuffed crepe, but as of right now, we just want to just work on the crepe batter. So all you need are 2 cups of just all-purpose flour, 2 cups of whole milk, 4 whole eggs, 4 tablespoons of butter, salt and pepper. That's all you need to make it. It's very, very simple. Just take your flour, add your milk, right? Nothing to it. Get your eggs, drop those in. And throw shells on the floor, but you know what I mean. Put that in there. Get your whisk. Well, we'll go ahead and add a little salt. About a teaspoon of salt. And we'll add about half a teaspoon of black pepper. We just kind of just want to bust those egg yolks up real quick. Bust up. And really, I mean, this is it. Alright? You just want to mix. Just get it mixed up. And we'll add our butter. Since we've got that started now. Now you are going to have lumps. That's fine. Don't worry about those at this point in time. You're going to get those worked out. I promise you. They will work out. Just whisk it. Just whisk it. As you can see, I mean, you've got a thin pancake batter. It's a French pancake. I like to call French tortillas myself because we're actually going to be putting a filling inside of these. This is your crepe batter, your basic savory crepe batter. If you wanted to make something sweet, add about a 1/4 cup of sugar to this. You don't even have to do that. You can just make this without the pepper, and then once they're cooked, you can fill it with fruit jams, Nutella, whipped cream, basically whatever you want. But these are going to be savory crepes, and that's it. That is a crepe batter. Very easy to do. I don't know why more people don't do these. Honestly, they're really, really good, especially when you're filling them with stuff, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a chicken filling. So we're going to have chicken and mushroom and spinach, and then we're going to make a mornay sauce to go over the top of it, which a mornay sauce is nothing but basically a cheese sauce to go over that. But the important thing here, at this point in time, we've got it. We made it, no issues whatsoever. It's made. You have to let this rest. You absolutely have to. That flour that we put in there needs to actually soak up all that liquid. That's why, like even now I can kind of look in there and it looks, really good and smooth, but there are just a couple little lumps here and there, nothing big. But you need to let this rest for about an hour, at least an hour, 3-4 hours. Overnight is great. The longer it rests, the more tender your crepes will be. The less time, they'll be a little more rubbery, but that's fine. They're still going to be delicious, I promise you. It just depends on how much time you have. So we're going to let this rest, and then while it's resting, we'll come back and start on the chicken filling. Okay? Alrighty, so now we're going to start in on the filling. So let me just kind of go over with you with what I got. Besides the non-stick pan here, I've got oil in here, probably about 2 tablespoons of oil. I've probably got about, I don't know, 4 to 5 ounces of baby spinach. You can chop it up if you want to. You can remove all the little stems and stuff. I'm not going to go through that trouble with the spinach. I've got 2 medium yellow onions that I've diced up haphazardly. I've got 8 ounces of sliced white button mushrooms that I've cleaned before I cut them up. And yes, I did clean my mushrooms. Some people say, "No, don't ever wash your mushrooms. Don't do that. Wash them or don't wash them." I don't care. It's not a debate. I'm the one that has to eat it. I know what mushrooms are grown in. I'm not eating that. I'm going to wash mine, dry them off, and then I'm going to slice them. They don't absorb any water. It's nice and dry. So now this recipe, well, let me just start with the onion. So I'm going to get my 2 medium onions that I've diced in here first, and I'm just going to try to get a little bit of color on them. These are going to go first, and I'm going to actually add just a little bit of salt, not much. I just want to season it just a touch, and I do want to add just a little bit of pepper. All right, I just want to season as I go. All right, there we go. I'm gonna lower the fire down just a little because that pan is hot, very, very hot, which is what I wanted. I wanted to get through this pretty quick. All right. So, anyways, this recipe here, let me tell you, folks, this is not my recipe. Okay, I didn't create it. I have no claim on it whatsoever. I have found this online because I wanted something to stuff into those crepes. So I did go online and I got this recipe from a guy on YouTube named Chef Jean-Pierre. He's very good at what he does. He is a restaurant owner, an actual true chef, and he's also a cooking instructor. So, you can get far much better instruction from him than you ever will out of me, I promise you. But this is basically his recipe. I haven't really changed anything about it, really, other than I'm kind of doubling it up. The only change that I'm really making is on the chicken, because he uses just salt and pepper on his chicken. I'm going to use this fajita seasoning from Fiesta, and I'm going to put that on my chicken. So I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle a little bit of that seasoning over my cut up chicken. Oh yeah, and by the way, that chicken, that is 1.5 pounds of bite size. I cut it up to bite size pieces of chicken tenders. You can use chicken breast, you can use chicken thighs. You don't have to use that. If you want to make what I'm making, then I'm using chicken. You can use pork. You can dice up pork if you want. You can dice up a steak and put it in here. It doesn't matter. It's yours. This is just make it yours. If you don't have the onions or don't like onions, don't put them in. You don't like mushrooms, don't put them in. You don't like spinach, don't put it in. Find something you like and make this your own. This is what I like. I like all these items, so I'm going to use them. Now, as you can see, these onions, I've got them sweated down. So they're sweated. Now, I'm going to add my mushrooms. I'm just throw them in. And basically what's going to happen here is I'm going to cook the water out of these, right? Because mushrooms have a lot of water. I'm going to add a little more salt, just a little. Kind of get these going. It'll draw out some of the water. Because we don't want any water. There's no flavor in it. Even Chef Jean-Pierre will tell you that. There's no flavor in water. That tastes like nothing. So we'll do that. And then once that's kind of cooked down, and the mushrooms start to kind of dry out just a little bit, we'll add our spinach. All right, we'll add that and we'll cook that till the water kind of comes out of the spinach too. So, tell you what, I'm going to cook on this. When it's time to add the spinach, I'll come back to it. Alrighty, my mushrooms are pretty well much done at this point in time. We're going to throw the spinach in. But yes, I know it looks like a lot. This stuff is going to wilt down into nothing. I promise you, it will. And then, of course, once again, you do want to add a little salt. All right, just a little salt. I didn't add any pepper whenever I did the mushrooms. So I'm going to add just a touch more pepper. Just kind of keep it seasoned up. So now I'm just going to stir it up till this is all wilted down. And I noticed that I wasn't able to show the entire bottle of the fajita seasoning of what I've got, but here it is. It's the fajita seasoning brand. This stuff is good. I like it anyways. You might not like it, but I do. Use what you want though. Use salt, pepper. You can use Lowry seasoned salt, just whatever. Whatever you like. Put it in. Just put it in. See what I mean about that spinach? It has a big pile. It's just kind of just wilted down. Right? And like I said, you can chop the spinach up and you wouldn't have, you know, these great big pieces with a stem on it like that. I don't care. I'm not, you know, in a restaurant serving this to anybody other than myself. So, you do what you like. You want to go through all that trouble, then by all means go through all of that trouble. I'm not going to do it. Like I said, you know, this is mine. Make yours the way you like yours. That's all I can say about any of it. So, with this being done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bowl that I had my spinach in, because this is done. Everything's cooked the way I like it. So I'm just going to dump it right back into this bowl. And it will all fit. Because everything's cooked down. I mean, it has cooked down. And we want all of it. We want all of it back in, out of this pan. Or as much of all of it as we can possibly get. Well, we'll just set that off to the side, right? Get our pan back on the fire. I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit, because now we're just going to cook the chicken. So I do want to add a little more oil, not much, but about a tablespoon. Right, so we just want to get that hot again. Shake off my spoon. So we're going to let this get hot, then we're going to add this chicken, all this chicken. And basically what we're going to do is we want to brown it. You actually want it to brown up. You don't want that just that pale white color. You want browning on this, okay? Guaranteed. See? We got the sizzle. And I'm just going to kind of move it around out of that little pile. Flatten it out. We're going to let that brown up. I mean, come on, this is easy, right? There's nothing I've done here that is hard whatsoever. You know, now this recipe, just for what I've purchased, just for this, and I do have some leftover spinach, but I did use all the mushrooms. I did use the 1.5 pounds of chicken with it. Of course, you know, I had to buy milk for the crepes and such. So, anyways, this probably came out to about $27. And yeah, I know what you're thinking. Well, you know, that can be a lot of money. No, not really. You go over to Whataburger and get two hamburgers with fries and drinks. You know, you're at $28 right just there, just for 2 hamburgers. You know, I can feed 3 or 4 people, or I, you know, eat this for 2 days. So that's how you kind of got to look at it. All right, now see. I'm messing up already. I'm just sitting here stirring on this. I don't want to stir on it. I just want to leave it alone. I want to let this brown. So don't do what I just did and just go to stirring and stuff. Just let it sit and cook. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'll be back as soon as this is browned up. Okay, I've been cooking this chicken for probably about 7 to 10 minutes. And as you can see, let me get this in. It is done now. So, you see these little brown parts? That's what you're looking for, that right there. Okay? And that's what you want. You want that browned up There's a lot of stuff in the bottom, and I'm tempted to add a little bit of water to it, but I'm not going to. I just don't have the time. But you could add a little bit of water to that, get that scraped up, let it kind of start to evaporate back out again, and that's just more flavor. And I almost hate to even waste it, but that's what I'm going to do. So as you can tell, I have put all my stuff into a different bowl because that other one just wasn't going to hold all the chicken. So basically what I'm going to do now, just get this mixed up. I'm going to mix it up, and really at this point in time, the only thing, I've got two things left to do. Number one, to make the crepes. I'm still waiting on that batter to rest. I've still probably got another 30-40 minutes on that before I can start making those. And then I just need to make the mornay sauce, which, like I said, is nothing but it's basically a cheese sauce. Okay, so we'll come back to that just as soon as I've got it ready. Okay. I'm still allowing the crepe batter to rest. I want to actually let it go about, 3 to 4 hours. So I kind of put stuff on hold for a little bit. But right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the mornay sauce, or the cheese sauce. So basically what you're going to need is you need a stick of butter melted, right? One whole stick of unsalted butter melted. Over here in this pan, I've got 4 cups of whole milk, and I've warmed it up. It's something you do not have to warm that up. I've only done it for the purpose of the video because it just makes it faster for me to do that. I've got half a cup of flour. I've got about 1.5 cups of grated mozzarella cheese, salt, pepper, and then over here I've got 3 egg yolks. You don't need these, it's not necessary. These are basically there to enrich this sauce and to give it a little bit of color, okay? But unnecessary. And then I've got 2 tablespoons of butter. And that will also go back into the sauce here in a minute. So, this is what you're going to do. You're going to melt your butter, your entire stick of butter. Add a half cup of flour, all right? And you're gonna stir it, mix it around. All right, this is the very beginning of our sauce. You can kind of knock some of that off the side. And what you're doing here is you're making a roux. Okay, it's the beginning of a roux. Flour and butter, a lot of sauces will actually be equal amounts of flour and butter. So a stick of butter is a cup, and you would add a cup of flour. So like if you were just going to make a gravy, you would add a cup of oil, a cup of flour, right? But that's not what we're doing. We're actually going to make a sauce, a cheese sauce, and this is how it starts out. So you get the flour and the butter, and just kind of just keep it moving around. Do this over like a low heat, not super low, just like a notch above low, because you want to cook the flour taste out of the sauce. You don't want to like taste it and it's like, oh, that just tastes like flour. No, you don't want that. You just want to just kind of just cook that flavor out, and you would know exactly what I'm talking about. If you were to taste it right now, you'd be like, oh, okay, well, all I can taste is butter and flour. So you want to kind of cook that out, but you don't want to brown this. You want to keep it as in white. So you want a white roux, basically, is what it is. And there's a French name for it, and I don't know if it's like blanc roux or something. Anyways, you want it white, because we're adding, warm milk. Like I said, it don't have to be warm. I'm doing this only for video purposes because it will make the sauce faster by me doing it this way. You can add cold milk, and that is 4 cups. So you can do that. You'll have a lot more time when you're doing this at your own house. But with the video, this thing is already going to be long enough, right? So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to kind of cook this, and that usually takes anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes to get that raw flour taste out of this, by the way. Okay, it's not a matter of seconds. It is an actual matter of minutes. So about 3 to 5 minutes, and that's going to cook out. As far as the egg yolk, and that's all it is egg yolks. I've separated the whites out, and I've saved those to the side so I can make like a egg white omelet or something later. You don't have to save the whites. Throw them in the trash if that's what you want to do. It's up to you. Eggs are cheap enough to where you can do that. And like I said, you do not have to add these. It's only for color, and it will give a little bit of richness to the sauce. It will give it a little bit more. And that's all I can say about that. The cheese, any kind of cheese you like. It doesn't matter. You can use cheddar. You can use Colby Jack. You can use Swiss. You can use Parmesan. You can use Gouda, Havarti, anything. Any kind of cheese you like. Whatever your favorite cheese is, use it, please. Whatever you like. You don't have to follow what I'm doing. Just whatever cheese you really and truly enjoy and you want your cheese sauce to taste like. You know, I'm using mozzarella. I'm using a low moisture pre-shredded mozzarella. I like the whole milk a lot better, but they were out at the store surprisingly today. That really did shock me that they were out. So that's what I had to buy. So at this point in time, so you know, it's been a few minutes. This is right there to the point to where I've got to add the milk to it. I have to. So I'm going to start, and I'm not going to add all of it. I'm going to add most of it though, and I'm going to stir it. All right, and you will, you know, if you're using hot milk like I am, you're going to notice it is going to immediately start to thicken up. I mean, it's already a thickened up sauce, but we're not done yet. We want all of this in there. So I'm going to add the rest. Set that off to the side. I don't need it anymore. I'm done with that pan. So, but you've got to cook this sauce. And while I've got it here, and it hasn't quite fully thickened yet, it is getting thicker though as I'm talking. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add about a teaspoon of salt. Just to add a little bit of flavor, and I'm going to do about half a teaspoon of black pepper. Okay? Add as much as you like. Doesn't matter. If you want to add garlic powder to this at this point in time, add it. Put it in there. You want to add cayenne pepper, add it. Do what you like. This is your sauce. I'm making a white sauce. So that's what a mornay is. Or a bechamel. A bechamel is a white sauce, and that's what I've made here. Honestly, this is a bechamel. It's not a mornay sauce until I add the cheese, which mornay is nothing but cheese sauce in French. This is a bechamel. This is a gravy at this point in time, honestly. It is thickening up. So, you know, I just want to start adding some of my cheese. I don't want all of it in there right at the beginning. I want to get some in though, and I want to get it whisked around. You need to whisk it. Alright, and you will feel it. I mean, it will almost instantly thicken up. Look at that. Now I'm going to add the rest of it. That's what I want. And I'm going to just stir it in. Stir this in until it's all completely melted and you don't see any little extra pieces of unmelted cheese. In it. Look at this. See, it's nice and stringy. That's that cheese. So I'm going to kill the heat. I don't want it to cook any more than it absolutely has to. It just has to just melt and be thickened up. So look at that. That does look delicious, don't it? Okay. So this is your mornay sauce. This is a true cheese sauce. Ooh, that's hot. Oh, that's delicious. And you can use this for macaroni and cheese. I mean, honestly, that's what it's meant for. Now I'm going to take my 3 egg yolks. And honestly, if you don't want to make this much, if you just want to half this recipe, just use half a stick of butter, 2 egg yolks, not 3, 2. A cup of cheese, whatever cheese you like. The key at this point in time, though, because everything is so hot, we don't want to cook these. We want to get these stirred in immediately, or you'll just have scrambled eggs inside of this. And this is where you've really got to move. I mean, you've got to go, right? So the heat is off. There's enough heat left in the pan to actually cook these, to actually cook them. So here we go. All 3 of them. See how I'm whipping on this? This is what you want. And if you've noticed, I mean, almost immediately this turned this into a yellow. Right? We gave it color. We gave it a little bit of richness with those egg yolks. Now, the one thing we absolutely need to do at this point in time, oh, and those eggs are cooked. I mean, they are instantly cooked. That is what we've done. I mean, take a look at that. Look at that. That is just lovely. And seeing those yolks kept this from being that super stringy mess. We've actually turned it into an actual sauce at this point in time. So the thing is, you want to taste it, right? You want to make sure it's good. So you need to taste it. I don't want all that. It is hot, but let me see how good it is. Oh, sweet Jesus. Oh, that is good. It could use a little more salt, actually. So I'm going to add about another half a teaspoon. And I'm going to sprinkle in a little more pepper because it does need it. Just kind of taste as you go. Do it to your taste. And you'll know exactly what I'm talking about when you're making this. You'll taste it and you'll go, well, it's a little bland. Let me add a little something to it. And that's what you do. So I'll I'm not dipping my spoon back into the sauce, but I use the whisk to throw a little on this spoon. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Alright, so now that's done. I'm going to take my 2 tablespoons of butter. And this is just, you do not have to add this. This is just for extra richness. This is a French sauce, and the French love butter. And I'm just going to just throw it in, and I'm going to whisk it so we can get it melted in there. And it won't take long. Everything is hot. And see, there's one of those butters right there in my whisk. It almost tastes like a cheesy gravy. That's exactly what this almost tastes like. But it is delicious. It's a nice sauce. See any of that butter left? Nope. We have got that butter melted into it. We're going to, once again, dip our whisk, pull some out on the spoon. We're going to taste it again. Oh, yeah. Oh my God. That butter really just sent that right over the top. So that's our mornay sauce. We're done. We set it in the back, and it's just there, right? That's what we're going to be adding into our dish here before too much longer. I've still got a little bit longer to go on the crepe batter, and I've got it right here in the refrigerator. It's been resting. There it is. It's looking good. It's still nice and loose, right? We'll clean up our whisk, and we will remix this, but I'm going to let this actually sit for another hour, because I actually want about 3 to 4 hours of resting time on this for me, You don't have to do it. You can do it within an hour. Okay, I just want my crepes to be a little more tender. That's all it is just personal preference. You don't have to, but at least an hour, right? Oh, and when you're allowing this to rest, your crepe batter, put it in the refrigerator. All right? Just keep it in the refrigerator and let it do its thing. So, with all that being said, my next step is to actually make the crepes. So, we will do that. I'll show you at least how to make 3 to 4 of them. All right? So, that way you'll have a good understanding of how it's done. And then we'll, once those are all made, we'll allow them to cool a little bit. Then we'll add our filling to it. We'll add a little bit of our mornay sauce. We'll put a little mornay sauce over the top. We'll add a little more shredded mozzarella cheese to that, and then we'll bake it in the oven. All right, so until then, I'll see ya. All righty, here we go. It's the moment of truth with these crepes. I've just got a small pan. It used to be non-stick. It's wore out, but we're going to see what happens. Right, over in this pan, I've melted some butter, almost a whole stick. Right, here's my crepe batter sitting here on the side. I've got a 1/3 of a cup. It depends on how big you want to make your crepes. Honestly, I'm going to try a 1/3 of a cup. It might be a little bit more, it might be a little less, but we're just going to go with what I've got there. When it comes to making these things, let me just tell you right off the bat, the first one never turns out. I mean, you'll make it, but it's I don't know. The first one just never seems to turn out right. It doesn't matter what you do. The key to these, I just give a little explanation. Now, I do have a fire on underneath this pan. So this pan is getting hot. But the key to these is where the bottom starts to kind of roll up on the sides. You only want it on that bottom. You don't want it coming up on the sides so much when you're doing these, because then it just kind of just dries out, and you just don't want that. So here we go. I've just got a brush, a pastry brush, was sitting in the butter. I'm going to brush my pan with the butter, right? So we're just going to do that. I'm going to get my measuring cup, dip into my batter, kind of shake a little off or scrape it down the side. I'm going to pick my pan up off the heat, and I'm going to pour it in the middle, right? And then I'm just going to slowly work it around the pan. And what you're looking for at this point, you can see how I'm still kind of rolling it and that batter's still moving around. That's fine. That is fine. But you want to just do it until it stops moving. As you can see, it is pretty well much stopped moving. It's just a thin layer. You don't want a lot. Now then, my pan, I'll tell you right now, my pan is absolutely not hot enough. But I've got it to where it's set up. You can see I do it, nothing's moving. So it's basically, I'm cooking it at this point in time. And it's just a thin batter. I'm going to grab a spatula because I'm going to need one. You know, you see all these people on TV or YouTube who are sitting there and they'll shake these things and then they'll flip the pan and make it flip over. You can do that if you have a good enough non-stick pan and enough butter in it. I don't have a good enough non-stick pan, and I didn't have enough butter in it. But it's still going to turn out, though. I mean, this one probably not great, but it's going to turn out. And you can see, and you'll notice it. It'll start to set up. You'll see it. It looks like it's going to dry on top, and I can actually touch it. I'm not getting any crepe on me at this point in time, crepe batter. So I'm going to just kind of lift it up, and I'm going to flip it over. Yeah. So I was able to do that. And as you can see, it's still colorless. I mean, it's set up, but there's no color to it. We want some color. We want some browning on it, okay? So like I said, the first ones, yeah, they never turn out right, ever. It's always the second or the third that usually does the best. And this is tender. I mean, these are fragile at this point in time. They really are. They are, you know, it is a fragile pancake. Now let me check this other side. No, not yet. We're just going to let that sit there. On average, once your pan is hot and you've got it buttered correctly, it's usually about 45 seconds on one side, anywhere from 15 to 20 seconds on the other side. Okay, so that's usually how it goes. Obviously, this one's not going to go that way with me. But let's see, and it is hot. Okay, here we go. See, we've got some of that browning on it. That's kind of what you want. But you wanted that to happen on the very first side, right? The second side should look pretty well much about the way it does now. So I've got to cook this one just a little bit longer because it just wasn't right. So let me let that cook. For just a few more seconds. We're just going to go just for a few more seconds here. And let me flip it over one more time. Yeah, so there we go. So that's looking good. And we'll just toss that out onto a plate, okay? Don't worry about it. Just throw it on a plate. And you got to worry about covering it up right now. Let me mix my butter up a little bit. See how hot that pan is, right? I mean, that's on just like right below medium. And that third of a cup is just about right. So let me get one more, see if we can't do better with the second one. And I'm just pouring it into the middle. And then I'm going to start swirling my pan around nice and easy. No need to be in a big giant rush. Right? We just want to do it till that batter, like I said originally, quits running around the pan. And it don't take but just a couple of seconds. And I don't know if you can see it, but it is starting to dry out around the edges. I'm getting a bunch of little bubbles. That's telling me that stuff is hot. And that's what we're looking for. So, you know, it takes about 45 seconds on that first side, like I originally said. So we're really, really close to that. At this point in time, I want to start looking at it, but I'm not. I'm just going to let it kind of do its thing for a few seconds more. And it's very hard not to be tempted to tip it and look at it. But okay, so here we go. So let's see what we've got here. Pick it up, flip it over. See, that's what you're looking for. That's a crepe. Right? See all that nice, gorgeous browning all the way, you know, not over the entire thing, but it's brown and it's looking delicious at this point in time. And that's a crepe. I mean, they're not difficult to make. They're just, you know, it's a little time consuming. But in all honesty, they're really good, you know. It just depends on what you want to do with them. So, you know, we're probably around the 15-20 second mark here on that second side, and see how that browning is on that. That's what you want, right? So then, you know, and all you do is you're just repeating this process. But, okay, so there's my butter, crepe batter, pan, pour it in there. Swirl it around. Now see, now my pan's getting too hot. Let me turn that fire down a little bit, because that's, you know, that butter kind of, you know, that's actual whole butter sitting in there. So some of the milk solids in the butter will actually kind of burn and turn brown, which is fine. That's just more flavor. Nothing wrong with it whatsoever. You know, and with these crepes, like these two crepes, I've stacked one on top of the other. No worries with this, okay? Some people think, oh, they're going to stick together. You don't need nothing in between them. Because by the time you get the second one on there, or the one after this, they don't stick. Okay? They're not sticking together. The one important thing, though, to know is once you're finished making all of these, you do want to wrap these. You don't want to leave them open to the air. All right? They will dry out. Let's see how we're looking. Look at that. Beautiful. It's delicious. Okay. So there's 3. Hopefully that's enough for you to get it down. You see how easy it is. It's not difficult. Like I said, though, you know, that very first one I did not turn out great. It's usable by all means if I can get it. This is my first one. You know, it is usable. There's nothing wrong with it. It's very, very thin. You can almost see through it. But there's one side. You can see all the black pepper in it. There's the other side. You know, it's not as brown as I would have liked it to have been. Nothing wrong with it. It's still going to be good. Let me get this one off. See? There we go. Butter. All right. Crepe batter. Swirl. Right, and just like I said, you swirl till that batter quits moving in that pan. Okay, try not to get it all the way up high up on those edges or anything. Try to keep it down at the bottom. And see, it's that quick. I've got a little bit of movement left, but it's done. 45 seconds. Flip 15 to 20. Throw over on the side of your plate. Okay, they're done. It don't take long at all to make these things. Very, very quick. Let me get some of this crepe batter up off the stove real fast. I don't want it sticking everywhere. So you see, there's nothing to it. And I wish I could sit here all day and make all of these. Now see, this one didn't come out as brown as I wanted it to. Fine, it's still going to be delicious. Nothing wrong with it. So you're going to make all of these, every single one. And I think I'm going to do one more for you. And then I'm going to cut this off and finish these and let them rest. I'll let you know how many I'm getting at 1/3 of a cup. At this size pan, I think it's about an 8-inch pan. Okay? You don't have to use an 8-inch pan. You can use a 10-inch, 12-inch, whatever. It doesn't matter. If you're going for a much larger pan, you don't have to get it spread all the way out. You'll just use a lot more crepe batter. These things do not have to be perfect. We're going to put a filling in them and roll them up. Look at that. Ooh, that's beautiful. Okay. Yeah, they don't have to be perfectly round. All right? They don't. So don't let that discourage you if you're, if you're doing something and it's like, well, mine didn't turn out brown and beautiful. Well, who cares, right? You're eating these. Doesn't matter how they turn out. As long as they taste good. And if you allow that batter to rest long enough, it will taste good. You just got to follow the method of it. Okay? You can add other flavorings to these if you wanted to. I could have added fresh thyme or something else to these. Garlic. I could have put garlic in on them. Hell, do whatever you want. Pretty much. Right, so you can flavor these. I could have put parsley in it. It's all kinds of stuff. I could have done anything I wanted to flavor up that batter. I just chose to do a little salt and pepper. Right? Nothing else. Nothing else to it. So, let's see how this one turns out. Like I said, you see, I can touch it. Nothing on my hands. The batter has dried up. It's just not fully cooked yet. But we're almost there. Let's flip it. Look at that. See? Still not as brown and as gorgeous as I would like. But it is cooked. And that's fine. That is fine. Okay? It ain't got to be 100% pretty because we are going to cover it with some sauce and some more cheese. So a cheese sauce with some more cheese. So, Don't worry about it. So let's get this one here up out of this pan. And it is hot. When you see me do this, believe me, that is smoking hot, okay? I'm kind of used to it. I can do it. You see I'm still going for my spatula though. It's that hot. I don't want to mess with it too much. But they are nice, soft, tender, right? Okay, so there we go. I'm going to finish up the rest of these and then I'll show you how many I have. Alrighty. This is my very last crepe right here in the pan. Look at that. It's a little bit thicker than the other ones because I just had a little bit of batter left and not enough to make two out of this. But look at that. Kill that fire. There we go. Isn't that pretty? Oh, it's just gorgeous. I believe I got 14 crepes out of all that batter. If I'd have made them smaller, I could have gotten, 20, maybe. I wish I'd have been able to get actually 16. I wanted 16, but that didn't happen, and that's fine. At this point in time, though, to be honest, let me move stuff around. Here they are. I want to wrap them at this point. Right? I wasn't worried about it until now. Okay? It ain't got to be a perfect wrap. You just want them covered. You ain't gotta stretch it all out over everything. You want to wrap them. Keep them from drying out, okay? That's the key. We do want to let these cool off though. We do want to let them cool off because our filling is cool. Right? Our filling, which looks delicious even with the stem. Which is good. Our mornay sauce, right here. Still nice and loose. It has cooled off. And let me tell you, a little bit ago, while I was actually making the crepes, I grabbed a piece of this chicken. I stuck it down in that cheese sauce, that mornay sauce. Jumping Jehoshaphat. My God, that's good. Right. That is so good. That'd make you go chuck rocks at your mama. Well, I'm not going to chuck rocks at my mama. I'll chuck them at yours. At your mama. But it's that good. It really is that good. And once it's inside of these crepes, once it's inside of all these crepes, and we've added a little bit of that sauce to it, and we've added some more cheese to it, and we've baked it off. Oh my gosh, that's going to be delicious. But anyways, as of right now, we're just going to let all these cool off. Some, and not 100%. We're going to let them cool off some though. And then then I'll come back. We'll put our filling in them. Add a little bit of sauce to it. Roll them up. Put them in a casserole dish. A little more sauce. A little more cheese. Right? You can't have too much sauce and cheese. My gosh. We're not planning on living forever, right? Maybe 85, 90 years of age. But that's still a while off. So, I'll be back whenever we start to do this. Alrighty, here we are, pretty well much at the final stage of this, besides the actual cooking and tasting of it. Got my filling here, my chicken, mushroom, spinach filling. I've got my mornay sauce here. I've got my crepes here. I've got my pan there. It'll probably take more than just that one pan, but we'll just go with what we've got here at this point in time. I use a butter flavored spray to get the dish ready. At this point in time, really, it's just a matter of taking some of this sauce. We're going to put some into our filling, right? We want to kind of wet that up and get it mixed together. Right, so just enough to just, get it wet, moisten it, basically. Right? So now we're going to take our crepes. I just unwrapped them. They are looking delicious. We're going to set our sauce off to the side for a moment, though. And really, all you do is you just take a little bit. It don't take a lot. I mean, you want some in there, obviously. You've gone through all this trouble to make it. You might as well make them good, right? And I'm hoping we can see what's going on. Yeah, let me move that over some. Okay, so I've just added a little bit of the filling to it. You're basically just going to kind of treat it like a burrito at this point in time. You can kind of flip over the sides, put that over, kind of pull it back. Just remember that these are crepes and not actual tortillas, and we're just going to make little burritos out of it. All right, and place them in there. Grab some more filling, and you're just going to repeat this, right? I mean, there's not a lot to it. And, you know, let me kind of explain something to you. This is something that's, you know, you're not going to go to work tomorrow afternoon and then come home and make this, okay? You're not unless you're just 100% prepared for it. You're not going to have it on the table in 2 hours. You know, this is something you need to start on, you know, early in the morning or the day before, right? And just, you know, do this now. You know, it's not fast, I promise you. You know, I've been working on this for, you know, 4 or 5 hours in reality. So, like I said, it's not something you're just going to just throw together real fast. You're really not. You need to do this on your day off. Yeah, just, you know, you're going to make your crepe batter, go do some laundry. Sweep and mop your floors. Do something with yourself. Watch a couple of movies, probably 2 or 3 in all actuality. You could do this a lot faster if you actually made your crepe batter, you know, really early in the morning and you allowed it to rest. You know, you only got to do it in an hour with, you know, you do it within that first hour of resting, and that amount of time you can make the filling. You can make the mornay sauce. You can make the crepes. Do not get me wrong. This can be done within just 2 hours. It really can. But, you know, you don't want to do it like that, because then everything's just hot. Of course, you know, there's nothing wrong with it doing it 100% hot, everything being hot. I just like to let everything kind of cool off. By all means, do it however you like to do it. You know, you can see I'm just sitting here, I'm just filling crepes. That's all I'm doing at this point in time. Back in there. So, you know, you don't need a whole lot of filling in these. You really don't. Just get them in there. Just treat it like a burrito. Like I said, it's a French tortilla. Really. That's how I look at it. They don't all have to be the same size or anything like that. Get that in there, though. I want every bit of this filling, except for apparently that piece of spinach that I just ate. But let me tell you, these are very delicious, and it's worth every minute that you do spend on it. It doesn't matter if you spend 2 hours or if you spend 6 on it. Either way, it's going to be delicious, guaranteed. You know, and at this point in time, I mean, honestly, I'm afraid I just don't even have enough filling for all the crepes that I've made. Is that even a single crepe? Yeah, it feels a little thick. Or is that 2? No, that's 1. Alright. So just roll them up burrito style. You don't have to, you don't got to do anything super extra special at this point in time. Alright. Now that is 2. Okay, I felt that. Alright. So like I said, yeah, you don't need a whole bunch. You don't need a ton of it. And just kind of think of these as really just, I'm kind of looking at it as a French enchilada at this point. You know, you don't need a whole lot of filling in them. Just do what you like to do. I think I could probably get one more with the amount of filling I've got, and then I've got extra crepe. So, you know, my filling didn't turn out the same way with the amount of crepes that I've got. Okay, no big deal. I can save these crepes. I can do something else with them. And there we go. Just kind of just poke those in there. I'm going to set these others off to the side, and I'll eat those. I don't know how many I've got left. 1, 2, I've got 3 left. Okay. So I got about 11. What was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I did 11. Got 11 of them. Okay, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. And I'm sorry, I'm just not prepared for this. You definitely want to take some of your extra mornay sauce, pour it over. And just spoon it, pour it, however, whatever you want to do. You can add as much or as little as you like. I'm going to add a lot because that's what I like. Like I said, I'm going to kind of treat it similar to a French enchilada, right? So there's my sauce. I'm going to grab my bag of cheese out of the refrigerator real fast. This is just a shredded low moisture part skim mozzarella cheese, pre-shredded. It's Walmart, great value brand. Nothing wrong with it. It's not the best. Like I said originally, I do prefer the whole milk mozzarella, but this will be just as wonderful. Well, it won't be as wonderful, but it will still be good. Guaranteed. And just cheese it up, right? Just cheese it up. Bang. There we go. So what I'm going to do actually, because I'm hungry, I haven't even eaten today. I'm going to take a crepe. That's done. All you got to do at this point in time, put that in the oven for about 30 minutes. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of those extra crepes and I'm going to throw some cheese in it. Even though it's not hot, nothing's hot anymore, this is still going to be good, I guarantee it. I'm just going to roll up a little cheese, a little French cheese enchilada. Bam, there it is. I'm going to take some of this mornay sauce. My God. Oh, you know this is going to be good. I'm just going to just drizzle a little over the end there. Oh, sweet Jesus, that is delicious. It'd be even better if this cheese was melted. I don't care because I'm starving. My God, that's good. You want to talk about finger licking good? Look out, Colonel Sanders. Right? Let me get some of this. There's a tad bit of filling, not much, trust me. I've scraped the bowl pretty much. Just throw a little bit, that little onion left. Oh my God. Okay. I can't do any more of that. I'm gonna finish it though. Oh my God. That's so good. Those crepes, letting that crepe batter rest that little bit of extra time, you know, it's 3-4 hours. It is just tender. Oh my gosh, that's just tender. So, let me shut up about any of this. Get this out of here. Because I'm going to go crazy here in a minute. Yeah, at this point in time, you are done. right? All you gotta do is throw this in a 350 degree oven, a preheated 350 degree oven, let me be clear on that, for about 30 minutes. We want it to kind of brown up and get hot and bubbly. Everything's cooled off. If you did do this with everything hot, so you had everything ready, all your stuff was ready to go and cook, you could do this in about 2.5 hours, right? And that's only allowing your batter to rest for 1 hour. You can do it in about 2.5 hours. At that point in time, you really don't even need the 30 minutes of oven time. You could just almost just throw it underneath the broiler and let the cheese and stuff brown off, and you'd be done. Let me get this in the oven. As soon as it heats up, I turned the oven on the minute I started even filming of this, so I've got about 10 more minutes of preheating and do that, and then we'll come back whenever this comes out of the oven. All right, moment of truth has arrived. Let's see how we've done. It's been 35 minutes since I put it in the oven. Let's see. Look at that, nice and brown and toasty. Now, if that was whole milk mozzarella, you wouldn't see the individual little shreds in there. That looks good. That is hot and bubbly. My gosh. Let's see if we can kind of get in on some of that a little bit. And there we go. It's really too hot to cut into right now, but while I'm here and it is hot, let me go ahead and kind of hit it around the edges a little bit. Oh yeah. Oh, you could just, oh my God, if you could just smell it. Oh, it smells wonderful. Get rid of that little pet stuff, whatever that was that just fell. I don't know what else to say. I'd like to cut into it. And even though I shouldn't, I'm still going to. Now, these are long, right? These are long, and then they're long back there. So what I'm going to do, so I'm going to try to figure out, there's one there. I'm sure there's another one there. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's just not cool enough. It's just way too hot. Hot. Let me pull it out. Oh, sweet Jesus. Okay. Yeah. That's good. I mean, it's too hot to be eating right now, but honestly, I just can't wait. Where are we at? Look at that. It's all saucy, cheesy, hot and delicious. Ooh, you know you gotta blow down that. You have to. Ooh, no, fall apart. You see that crepe is just draped over off the edge. Oh, sweet goodness, it's hot. Oh my God. Oh. It's hot. I don't even know how to describe how delicious that is. Whoo! Yeah, that is extremely unique. Very hot and delicious. Oh my gosh. It's almost like a pasta, but it's not. And that chicken and that mushroom, spinach and onion, oh my God, there's so much flavor. Mmm. Oh, well, just the right amount of pepper. The pepper really made it. Mmm. I don't know what else to say about it other than get your butt in the kitchen and make it, right? That's all I can say about it. Take the time. Something like this shows your family how much you love them. And even if you don't love them, you'll impress them. That's for dang sure. So until the next time I can make something else, and hopefully it won't be too much longer from now. My work schedule's pretty full. Definitely give this a shot. You will not regret it. You will not regret this. Go and make it.